Hi there. I recently saw a movie called Chinese Coffee. It was written by the same guy who wrote Tough Guys Don't Dance, which was a very strange, trashy movie that's also cleverly aware that it was trying to be terrible and clever at the same time. But the highlight of this movie, Chinese Coffee, is that it was directed and stars Al Pacino. The movie follows two writers. One of them hadn't written for years, and the other one, Al Pacino's character, he finally finished his book and was proud about finally finishing a book as he's nearing getting closer and closer to 50 years old. He had struggled with money so much that he was completely poor. It's one of the reasons he shows up at his apartment to talk about his book, but also that he really needed some money that he let his friend borrow, and he hasn't paid him back. He has his own money issues as well. But this movie wasn't particularly enjoyable until the payoff, which really made it worth it. I feel like this movie well illustrates the concepts, the hive mind or group think, even though it doesn't say those words. Um, Al Pacino wants to be an artist for the love of the craft, and to have he really does have a lot to say, because in his world, his family, his friends, his lovers, they all put him into a box. They didn't really see him for who he was. Most of them told him he needed to get money and focus on that. They weren't so interested in seeing the world the way he wants to, as well as being passionate and constructive about the craft and lifestyle that he wanted to do. Uh, I don't want to give away the ending, but it's largely about public personas, people sacrificing societal stature for the sake of being a human soul who contributes uh, to the human condition. So, what's I can branch off into groupthink here. What I think groupthink and hive mind boils down to is the behavior, condescending behavior. And the reason for that condescending behavior is largely to a society that focuses on hierarchy rather than harmony. Any time someone belittles you and tries to make you smaller than you are, their motivations for doing so are complex, but primarily it's the belief that there are a limited amount of seats and positions in society. Only the great will get them, and there's not enough room for multiple seats and positions. So that means you have to cut down other people, belittle them, to reserve those seats for yourself. There are people who want to contribute to humanity that will never do that, and Al Pacino's character represents that. Many of the people who have given up on their dreams, they've given up on their soul essence. They end up chasing money, which is understandable, but I mean, we all have to do that, but we can't cut down other people, their dreams, and the things that make them thrive, or put them into boxes. Al Pacino's character, yeah, his lovers, his family, his friends, they don't see him for what he wants to do. He wants to be an author. He wants to write a book that makes people feel good about being humans, even with their idiosyncrasies, their absurdities. He barely has any money, and he's really trying to reject this public persona that's been put on him his entire life. And he's slowly but surely dying. He's almost 50 years old, and people are still pinning this stuff on him. not being a true friend, not being someone who supports his endeavors. He's all out on his own. So the beautiful thing about the ending of this movie, without giving it away, you really feel Pacino's character, it was Harry, I believe, his voice come out and reject these personas, but not in an adversarial way, but in a way where he's like, I'm just trying to be who I am, man. So beautiful ending, and I just thought I'd share those philosophies with you. Use the movie as a vehicle to share those philosophies. I believe we really need to shift into a culture that primarily focuses on harmony rather than hierarchy. Harmony, if you trace the etymology of the word, the AR in harmony, it means to fit together. Hierarchy, higher than, it's like a comparison. I believe that when you're living a world of spectrum, like when you have an artistic experience that's so vast and rich and has multi-layers of different being on it. Most artsy movies, they have like all these different flavors. You might have comedy or drama or dread, doom, fantasy, all wrapped into one. Whereas hierarchy makes it really black and white, sort of like a tug of war. It's more homogenized. And that's why golden ages in times past, if we're talking about like the Renaissance, artists were experts of multiple fields like science, magic or occultism, psychology, mathematics, music. All of those things were interwoven with each other because more people were sharing their fields with each other rather than worrying about, oh, I got to get the edge on this guy and not let them have my advantages, or my livelihood might be, competed over. They were more concerned about contributions to humanity. And that's the direction I think we really need to go. Over time, I will share more about how we are in hierarchy spells. For example, when you're hired by someone, you're higher than you used to be now that you're working for me. And you actually mean something now that you're beneath me. It's a weird play on words. I found lots of little weird things like that, and I'll share more over time. But anyway, yeah, check out Chinese Coffee if you're interested in this subject. It's a decent film. I'd give it like a C plus. Out of an A, and yeah, that's pretty good because a lot of movies aren't very good. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.